Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual class of Gyaniketan Girls School. Today, we are going to start a very fresh topic, that is the need to establish the rule of law. Now, earlier in the chapter, in previous chapter, we have learned that Parliament is a body where law is passed, where law is made, in which there are three branches, that is legislature, executive, and judiciary. The legislature is the one which makes the law, the executive implements the law, and the judiciary interprets the law. And a democratic government has to be fully aware of the needs and aspiration of the people residing in a country, in their country, so that the country could function very well. Now, in this chapter we are going to study that what is the need to establish the rule of law, and does it apply equally to each and every section of the society. See, Article 14 of Indian Constitution says that the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the law within the territory of India. Means equality before the law means that no man is above the law, and no one could be discriminated on basis of its religion, caste, gender, place of birth, and anything, status, education, or anything we can say. Okay, everyone is equal before the law, everyone is equal before the constitution. Even the president or the prime minister is have to follow the rules and laws that have been established in the constitution, and the member of the constituent assembly were the one who were against the arbitrary exercise of power in independent India, and the law cannot discriminate against any individual or in on any ground, that is, as I said, on caste, creed, sex, gender, religion, education, status, place of birth, etc. Now, the rule of law means that all law are equal to everyone, to every each and every citizen of our country, and no one is above that law, be it is a prime minister or president of a country. Everyone will be punished for the crime or violation of any law for all. Okay, means the law has to be followed by each and every person that is residing in our country. The position, the status of that person does not matter, they have to follow the law, because the constitution is one, and it says that each and everyone in our country is equal before the law. The rule of law established by the constitution, the rule of law particularly established by the constitution. And during the British rule, medieval, or we can say ancient India, the rule of law was not at all practiced, because rule of law were different, and for different people based on his social and economic status. Means according to social and economic status, the rule of law implied to person in ancient, medieval, or modern period. And during, for example, if you talk about during the ancient India, in ancient India there were innumerable and often overlapping of local laws for same offense or crime. People were punished differently. Means if people are in of the lower caste or lower section society, they were punished severely, whereas if people who belong to upper caste, if they committed any crime or offense, they were not punished so severely as severely as the lower status people, lower caste. So means the law of rule were lenient for the upper caste people. So similarly, punishments prescribed for offense against a Brahmin or Kshatriya were harsher than for offense against a Vaishya or Shudra. This begins to change slowly but steadily during medieval and modern period. As the time period changed, as the time period went on, the system changed with time. So there is a general belief that Britishers had introduced the law of rule, but it is not true, because there was not particular law of rule, definite legal procedure which brought about administrative and legal unity and uniformity in India. The this claim that the British colonialist introduced the law of rule of law is disputed by many historians of our country in basically in two ground, that is, first is that the first was the colonial rule was arbitrary. It does not imply or apply equally to European, the landed elite, princes, and other politician or powerful section of society. The British rule was based on discrimination and partiality, so it was said that it was arbitrary. And secondly, the Indian freedom fighter played a very major role in the development of this legal sphere under colonial era. They fought very violently, sometime non-violently, to get this rule of law. And one such rule of law was that Sedition Act of 1870, in which it was said that if any person was found criticizing the British rule or protesting it in any form by any means, was arrested or charged of sedition, and could be kept in prison, okay, behind the bar without any trial of court. Means there were no trial of court, but simply they would be put behind the bars. So this all things shows that the British rule was arbitrary. Another arbitrary law was Arm Act of 1878, which made that criminal offense to keep, bear, or traffic in arms without license. Means the worst feature of this act was that racial discrimination was very much seen during the Britishers period. So we can clearly say that it was not it was a very arbitrary rule. Now here, with the growth of education, however, the time passed on, education were brought up in the country, and with the growth of education, a new middle class family emerged, which started criticizing this arbitrary and coercive use of Britishers that were used by the Britishers at the time. And Indian nationalists at the time started demanding for equality, social, economic justice, and equality in all spheres of life, in all aspect of life. They wanted justice, they wanted equality with each and everyone. So they started to demand, and due to lack of opportunity, the educated youth turned to legal profession and journalism. Thus, a new class of lawyer also was seen emerging at the time, which began criticizing the law that was established by the Britisher at the time, and demanded that there should be a court in our country, respect in the court. Okay, so many newspaper and periodics were also published at the time, which analyzed and criticized the policy of colonial rule which they were applying in India at the time, and the true nature of British rule was exposed in the public finally by these newspaper and periodic which were established. Now, at that time, it was seen thus that educated Indian played a very major role in the evolution of concept of the rule of law, after which a proper rule of law was formed in the form of constitution. And when we talk about independent India, in independent India, the constitution became the basis of these new laws, which was to be formed and followed by each and every citizen of our country. So every year the parliament passes new law in this constitution, which becomes very crucial for people to follow, which is, however, these laws have to be conformity with the basic structure of the constitution. And we are very much familiar with with some acts that have been passed by our constitution, which are such as Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005, which says that equal share in family should be given to son, daughter, and mother. Means there should be no discrimination between son and daughter, that the property should be given to son. The property should equally be divided into son and daughter, including the mother. Now, the right to second was the Right to Information Act, which we have already studied in the last class in the previous year. Now, in Right to Education Act 2005, which was passed in 2005, it said it helped in checking the corruption in government sphere. Means we can check at any time, we can take out the information that what government are working. This is our right to information act. Okay, so several laws like this only have been passed by the parliament, by the and have been included in the constitution, which to give employment to the landless, rural, poor also, and to control pollution and many other sphere. So this is the work of constitution. That's why the rule of law was established, and it was very much necessary that it is applied to all, whether it is of the lower class people or higher class people. It must be, it should be followed by each and every citizen of our country. So this is how we see that the rules, the laws that are made in India through the parliament, which are passed by parliament president and the two legislative houses, the two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. It is seen that these laws becomes, after it is passed, it becomes necessary for each and everyone to follow that law. And if anyone is found in violating, in not adhering that law, is considered as a criminal, and he or she is punished for that crime. So this is what we are here studying in this class. Now next topic that we have to deal is that how the law comes about. Okay, so that we are going to study in next class. For now, if you find any doubt, please do ask. Thank you and have a nice day.